Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the most underrated and overrated brawlers, especially inside of ranked. And the first one we're going to start off with underrated. It has to be Brock. So Brock, for me, is incredibly underrated and underappreciated in knockout and bounty in particular, because with Brock, you can easily switch out his build depending on the matchup. If you want to face off, well, we're facing off against the Bonnies, you know, a few other of those aggressive brawlers where you can switch over to the jump gadget, and then in an easier matchup, you want to break open a wall and counter like throwers, for example, or just brawlers with very limited range, then you can switch over to the big rocket. Also, this big rocket gadget is only 15-second cooldown, so you can break a lot of terrain, you can confirm a lot of kills, you can do really a lot with this gadget. So in particular, I want to make sure that I'm staying away from Piper, because Piper is a tough matchup. But also in pro play, you rarely see Piper in pro play anymore, or even like Nanny, for example. And those are like two biggest threats to Brock. So you've just seen a lot of Brock, whether it be like even on maps like Hideout, where Hideout's primarily, I'd say, quite driven by the longer range brawlers. Oh, come on, like, this Piper is so weak. Can we confirm the kill? Of course we can't. I swear I missed every single... Oh, that was close. I miss every single Brock super when it's obvious like that, because they can just run out of range. With Brock supers, you want to catch them by surprise when you're kind of out of their range. Okay, let's try and get onto this Squeak instead. I don't know what Gus is really doing, because he should be trying to swap matchup as much as possible here, because he is much better matchup into Piper because of his health and his shield. Alright, we're in a decent enough position here. Piper does miss that hypercharge gadgets, which is good for us. I'm going to use hypercharge to try and push into a better position here. Okay, there we go. I'm going to pop super now to force them all the way into the left top corner. Got to be careful of Gene Pool and Piper gadget here. It's just, we've got time here, we've got time. Okay, Gene Pool is not good for us. We still need one more kill. Can we get it in time, please? There we go. Gus gets the final shot. And just like that, Brock, I just love him in terms of draft, in terms of bounty and knockout. You can't really use him in heist and other game modes. It's just these two in particular. Very underrated and underappreciated for sure. So that is going to be the first game there, where we're in Masters 2, and Brock just seems to be such a solid pick. Let's hop into the next underrated. All right, guys, jumping into the second brawler on the underrated list. I think I went for Stu. So I think Stu is incredibly underrated. Maybe it's not his meta. I think it's like the peak definition of underrated right now, where he's just not even being used in like hot zone. Gem grab, you know, he's a pretty flexible brawler. Most of the time, there probably are some better brawlers in terms of like hypercharges that can make more of a difference and more of an impact, but I still don't think he's as bad as a brawler in terms of like the play rates are really saying. I think he'll still have his pop-off moments, and it's all just depend on the user, right? As you can see here, let's try and get the pinch here with Willow, but he can be so aggressive with okay, of course the Willow somehow manages to get a dying shot onto me, but you can be so aggressive with Stu and just take up space, and that is enough for me to make him underrated. Again, like, you're playing with so many different game modes, just don't blame a knockout bounty, then you're pretty golden. Unfortunately, I've got a really terrible matchup though, because I first picked Stu. Of course, you don't want to first pick Stu in this type of meta, because there's just far too many better options, but I think, oh, this is just, it's just ugly. This is just getting outranged by everyone at the moment. I think our Juju should have this Will on a 1 versus 1 though, but I'm going to trust my teammates here to pick up that Crow. So they've gone so aggressively on the R lane that they've kind of forgot to even capture their own zone. So we have got a tremendous head start here. That's why they've had to fall back. I don't think it's... Okay, of course, Willow's right here. But I think with a continued aggression, we should still be able to get some time on the zone here. Willow's going to go down. Let's try and stay alive here. Oh, bro, I can't get anything cooking, but Parallel Plays is not a good map for Stu, really. I kind of force-picked it. But you get what I mean. I'm still getting some good aggression, and we're still winning this game. Alright, we can't put... I should have used Wall Break here into a Willow, definitely. But we can use our gadget here, start to get more aggressive on the zone again. This pinching nonsense is really starting to annoy me right now. My KD is going to be absolutely terrible, but that's okay. We're still winning the game. That's all that matters. That's all that matters right now. Okay. Of course, this call is one shot. Okay, hopefully Willow can use her super, then we can get the kill. Okay, Crow has his jump. We need to try and work our way forward. Of course, he has gadget that can keep him alive for so long. This is painful. I'm trying to sweat it, guys, so I kind of veered away from talking about why Stu is an underrated brawler, because I need to win this game. I'm getting closer and closer to Masters 3. Okay, I mean, we can't really do anything right here. Let's pop our gadget so we can get out of this situation. We should be able to get Crow. There we go. That rhymed. Good to see it. I'm just going to be extreme, like, really aggressive on this Willow, so hopefully my teammates can take the space and push up. Maybe a bit too aggressive there. And actually, we're winning if my teammate can stay on the zone. That should be a win. There we go. We just... Oh, the tick came in time. All right. I mean, don't look at my KD. This is yeah, 4-0. We don't talk about that, but I think there's much better maps to Stu out there. And yeah, my teammates did do a fantastic job. Maybe he's not as underrated as I think. I don't know. But I think a good Stu can still make a good impact in the game. And again, I just don't see enough people play Stu. And again, he's not like A tier, S tier brawler, but he's underrated for sure. That's going to be the second game. Let's jump into game number 3. All right, guys, jumping into the final brawler on the underrated list after trying this like 3 or 4 times now. It has to be Finx. So I was trying to originally do Ali and I had a few really good games, but both games my teammates disconnected. So I didn't really want to showcase me losing. But hopefully we can win here with Finx. So Finx is definitely underrated. I don't think his hyper charge is anything crazy, by the way. I don't think he was already underrated before the hyper charge is what I'm trying to say. I think he's a really good asset, especially against like some mobility assassins. I think he can be a great counter. Of course, he's like one of the best hot zone brawlers, but I just don't think he gets the recognition he really deserves in a lot of different metas. In the meta about 3 months ago or so, I regarded him as one of the best, if not the best brawler inside of a game, and he was at a certain point, but then the meta shifted and a lot of good brawlers just overtook him with hypercharges, etc. Now he has a hypercharge of his own, and it's pretty hard to charge up. It's not impossible to charge up. You can definitely, you know, if you're facing off against a tank like we are here with Kenji, you can definitely get one. I did in the previous game and it made such a big impact, and it looks like we can just walk through this team here, potentially, seeing as it's early. Okay, we give Kenji the ball. Kenji would not have been able to defend that if we just walk that in. Of course he can't. He's not got the damage. Anyways, we've got a super here finally, after me talking about me being able to cycle through to multiple supers. I can only really get one here, but I think my teammates should be able to walk that in. But I'm just really liking Finx, whether it be on a map like this, where he's actually really good with the vision gear slapped on. He's great in a lot of gem grab maps. I just think he's already underrated, and it has to be because of his star power that stops the reload speed. I'll show you guys quickly before we move into the next one. It's got to be, I forgot what it's actually called. Let's have a look. It's not a legendary brawler, is he? He is a... Are we blind? Hello, where is Finx? Oh, he's at the top. Okay, Finx's star power. There we go, finally. Higher. I don't know if I had to say that, but this star power is really good against brawlers like Kaze, mobility brawlers, and very underrated. I don't get this star power, makes 0 sense. Whoever tells you that this star power is better, just unsubscribe from them, because this one is very good and a big reason why he's pretty strong in the meta. Anyways, that's going to be Finx. Let's jump into overrated now. All right, guys, jumping into the first overrated brawler on my list. I'm going to go with Trunk, mainly because a lot of people, even upon his release, thought he was a really good brawler in the game, which I think they must be just on something, like on drugs or like what? Hello? Like clearly he has no range, no way to actually compete in most 1v1s, and just look at this. I know, like, what can I even do versus Lily in that situation, because all of his damage comes from hitting people on the edge of his circle. And we know with Doug that this doesn't work. This does not work as a mechanic, and I'm just sick of being like gaslighted by people that are hard stuck legendary 1 players. Like, are you serious? Yes, it works against people that cannot see or check bushes. Of course it's going to be good. It's like Jackie's good in that region, but for anyone that is like near Masters or anything like that, Trunk is just a terrible brawler. He is. I think the hypercharge gear will give him a bit of life, but there's currently a bug right now which is not going to help his case. But yeah, I just don't really see much life with Trunk personally. I don't see it. I don't see it. I've tried him in so many games. There's probably like some niche situations for him, but there's just so many unwinnable matchups for him. It's just getting boring at this point. Like, look at this. Like, any other tank can just destroy. Who does Trunk counter? That's what I want to know, guys. Who does Trunk actually have a good counter like matchup against? I don't know. I physically don't know, because his attack is so inconsistent. Like, I remember playing Trunk in like a heist game as kind of joke on Hot Potato one time, and I was really struggling to even kill a Miko, like, because of the attack delay and because of most of your damage is just kept behind this edge of the attack thing. It's just ridiculous at this point. So let's just hypercharge up. We do kill a Lily with a hypercharge, but again, this bug is actually making Trunk even more unusable because he doesn't actually recycle his super through his hypercharge super. So yeah, I'm really struggling right now. I did pick Trunk, I think, later on in his draft. So the problem with this draft mainly is because he picked a Carl into a Buzz. Sorry, he picked a Carl into a Buzz. That's what my teammate did. Like, I know I'm going Trunk, but he picked Carl into Buzz. His worst matchup. At that point, he's got to be throwing. He's actually got to be throwing. But yeah, so I'm not too sure where the idea of Trunk being a good brawler came from, but he's not good. He's like D tier, C tier. I just can't really get my mind behind him being even a usable brawler really in the meta. Yeah, so I just had to rant about him because I do like Trunk as like you can see here. Like I got the best stats by far out of my team, and they're the ones shooting me. Of course, 3 and 10 Carl is shooting me. But as I was saying, like I like Trunk. I really like his lore. I like him as a brawler. But they've done the exact same thing they've done with Doug. They tried to overcomplicate a simple brawler and try to make him different than Jackie, but then just realize that you can't like having an attack delay like this. It's just too detrimental. Just remove it. And then Trunk can be a good brawler. But yeah, that's going to be Trunk. Let's hop into another. All right, guys, jumping into our second overrated brawler on the list. I've gone with Colette. I feel like people aren't talking about the fall off of Colette. You can't really play her, and it's such an aggressive tanky meta. You can't really play her into tanks. You can't play her into assassins, and she's not really that good in heists. We just won the first round, which I think was a little bit lucky, but you'd think with like Bonnie becoming meta and a few other tankier brawlers, you would be able to make things work, but you just can't. She just doesn't really counter brawlers the way that she used to, and I think since the heist rework, she's just been a less appealing option. Even though a hypercharge still does a lot of damage, I just don't think she's really enough for this meta. So let's see if we can take any of these guys down, but it's not going to look likely because yeah, Colette just seems like a free kill. Like you can just run all over Colette however you want, but there's a berry on the enemy team which we can't really pinch out, so it looks like we're kind of forced to go a little bit aggressive this time. Hypercharge coming out from Bonnie already, but yeah, Brawlers as well that Colette used to counter just got hypercharges that can just counter her even better. So one shot away from our hypercharge super here, which we're just going to use on the safe now, even though it's already above the threshold, and this gadget does a bit of extra damage. I hope my teammates can just stay alive and deal with that kit for now. We're a few more shots away from finishing the game. Hopefully we can do it just in time, and there we go. So I think I think Colette was okay there because at least in hot potato I can be fine defensively, but I don't think I was really making that much of an impact. Like, where did you see Colette pop off? Before she could make pop off plays with a hypercharge and cycle through, so I just don't think she's that brawler anymore. She doesn't possess the power. I don't know what they could do to actually buff her in terms of, I mean, maybe like a health buff. I just don't really know. She's not used really to counter so many brawlers which she used to counter the pass, if that makes sense. So yeah, just a little bit underwhelming right now. Let's hop into the final one. All right, guys, jumping into the last overrated brawler on this ranking. I've gone with Mr. P. I always go back and forth on whether Mr. P is overrated or not, but I think this is a valid time and Mr. P is a little bit overrated, mainly because I was actually struggling after playing a lot of ranked and seeing, like, you know, the brawlers that my randoms just pick too much no matter what, and I think Mr. P is one of them, especially if you're playing him in like Gem Grab, if you're playing him in Brawl Ball. You can't play Mr. P there. He's a bounty and knockout brawler primarily, and you definitely can't play him on super long range maps. That's again another mistake people make. Like, you can't play Mr. P on shooting star. You're just never going to get super, especially against good players, but against bad players, yeah. Also, oh no, please. I was about to rage bad then, but then again, my Grey would have had it against the Grom anyways. But yeah, you definitely need like a tank or someone that you can feed off. Not even a tank, just a bit of a brawler, like just an in-between brawler. Not like a, if you're facing off against long-range brawlers all the time, you're never going to get super. That's the kind of point I'm making. I know his super counters those longer-range brawlers, but yeah, again, I was just kind of struggling to find someone that fits the description of overrated in this meta, because there isn't really a whole lot of brawlers that I'm seeing a lot of, you know, in terms of being overplayed. You guys probably have to let me know in the comment section, because there are a few maybe that are overrated. I get the feel, I don't know whether Lumi's underrated or overrated, by the way, because like everyone thinks that Lumi isn't an S-tier brawler, but then is she, like, are you guys actually right? If you guys are right, then she's overrated, but if you guys are wrong, then she's underrated. That's the common consensus here, because the pros think she's one of the best brawlers in the game, even though I've not watched too much pro play this Well, there's not really been any pro content for a little while, so I'm interested to see where she is in this meta. Right, we're getting close to our next super here, one shot away, but these guys have been doing much more of a number on us inside of this round. We need this kit to get on the Grom ASAP. The Grom is doing a really good job, by the way. He definitely isn't underrated. He's just got a half-decent matchup. Let's see if we can kill most of these guys. There's just a Mo left, and all of us being one shot, we're able to clean things up. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Confident with like 5 of my picks overall, but in terms of Finn, okay, hi Finn, thank you for the elo. But yeah, as I was saying, I was a little bit unsure on what to put as overrated, because it's not really a lot. I could go through the brawlers, and the typical brawlers that you'll see pretty much in every single list is like Bo, Mr. P, but I can't really think of many other brawlers that I'm like, okay, that brawler definitely is getting overplayed and overrated. Like, just going through all of them, I just can't really think of a brawler that's actually, maybe Chester from my recent tier list. People were saying that Chester should be higher, and BB as well, but that's about it really. Okay, that's gonna be it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and see you guys next time.